7 technologies required to land humans on Mars. The Apollo 11 mission landed the first men on the Moon. It not only captivated the entire world, but also changed the course of humanity towards a spacefaring civilization. It was the first time in history that humans walked on another celestial object. Since then, it's been 50 years and we haven't been back to the Moon. But that is set to change. NASA's Artemis program will set the course for humanity's return to the Moon. But there is another, much anticipated mission that will break the records and imagination of Apollo 11, the first human land on Mars. But landing humans on the Red Planet is no easy task. It requires a lot of technological advances that we currently lack, and the greatest minds in the world are working on them. What are these technologies that will land humans on Mars? How important are these for making a self-sustainable settlement on Mars? We will discuss all that and more. Number 7. 3D printing. The dream of establishing a colony on Mars is slowly getting closer, and one important technology that we will need is 3D printing. The International Space Station has been using 3D printers for many years to make tools, but they are just the beginning of what 3D printing can do. 3D printing will help us to build different types of habitats on Mars, which are safe, economical, and above all, protect us from cosmic radiation. It wouldn't make sense to carry structures from Earth to build these things on Mars. With 3D printing, however, we can build habitats, tools, and many more on Mars itself. Printers will see 3D printing spread far and wide across the aircraft in all industries, including those aimed at basic life systems, and that will help future Martian settlements make custom solar panels, air cleaners, heat exchangers, special vehicles, agricultural tools, and other things we have not even yet imagined. No matter how many probes we send in advance, Martian colonists will face surprises and need to upgrade with flexible 3D printing. Number 6. Energy. Surviving on Mars requires an uninterruptible power supply, in the same way that we require a consistent supply of electricity to keep the lights on. Astronauts will want a dependable source of energy that can provide power under any circumstance. Generating renewable energy on Mars will be the key to having a self-sustaining settlement. For starters, main energy supplies like sun and wind are poor in comparison to the Earth due to the relatively low air pressure and limited solar irradiation. Secondly, due to the terrible climatic conditions, the high level of automation necessary, and the extraordinary effort and cost of transporting this material to the planet. For an efficient renewable energy solution, it is critical to integrate complementary resources, just as it does on Earth. One of the things that will be crucial to attain would be the ability to use in situ materials and generate energy. Due to the insanely high cost of transportation, relying on Earth for energy is not a very good option. Utilizing in situ resources to generate energy would be the key to a base on Mars. Nuclear power too could prove to be a great source of energy on Mars. The first tests of nuclear power will occur on the Moon during the Artemis mission, and once they are proven viable, they will be used on Mars. Number 5. Inflatable heat shield. Heat shields are a critical part of landing humans on the Earth and on Mars. They protect the spacecrafts from atmospheric hazards like intense heat and friction. The amount of heat shielding that a spacecraft can have is limited by weight and space constraints. NASA, for example, is nearing completion on an inflatable heat shield capable of providing maximum surface area coverage while remaining as small as feasible while not in use. The largest rover we have on Mars is the size of a car, and sending people to Mars will require a much larger spacecraft. The new technology will allow heavier spacecraft to enter Martian space, get closer to the surface, and stay close to where the astronauts want to explore. NASA operates a breathable heat shield that allows a larger space to take up less space in a rocket than a solid one. Technology can make spaceships on any space planet. It can grow and expand before entering the Martian atmosphere to land safely and in space. Technology is not ready for the Red Planet yet. Upcoming 6-meter wide flight tests will show how aeroshell works as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. Experiments will prove that it can survive extreme heat as it enters Mars. Number 4. Laser communication. Communication with astronauts on Mars will be an important aspect that scientists will need to focus on. They will need to use lasers to keep in touch with the astronauts. The laser communication system on Mars can transmit large amounts of real-time data and information, including high-definition video feeds and images from astronauts. With the current technology, shipping a Mars-Earth map may take up to 9 years, but 9 weeks with laser communication. Technology will also allow us to connect with astronauts, see and hear more about their experience on the Red Planet. NASA has already proven the benefits and utility of laser communication from the Moon in 2013. The next demo of the agency will work with a variety of operating conditions, optimizing the identification system and addressing technical challenges from low Earth orbit, things like clouds and other communication disruptions. For this purpose, NASA is developing small spacecraft surveillance systems, including the ISS and its first Artemis mission. Other ventures of laser communication will go into deep space to understand more about this technology when it's millions of miles away from Earth. Number 3. Martian Home and Lab on Wheels. This will be a very unique state-of-the-art technology that NASA is working on tirelessly to make a reality. A Martian home and lab on wheels, much like the one we saw in the movie The Martian, will be very crucial for astronauts in the initial phase of the settlement. NASA plans to combine the first Martian home and vehicle into a single rover, which will reduce the items needed to land on the surface. They have already done extensive rover testing on Earth to develop a mobile home like this on the Moon. Future Artemis astronauts who live and work in the pressurized Moon rover will offer valuable feedback which will help refine the rover capabilities for astronauts on Mars. NASA robots will help the Martian design too. Everything from the best wheels on Mars to the way a giant car will travel in difficult terrain. Very much like an RV, the pressurized Mars rover and lab will have everything that the astronauts will need to live and work for weeks. It will have all the life support systems, comfortable clothing, and much more. They can even drive tens of miles from the spacecraft that will launch them back to space for the return trip to Earth. While encountering special locations, scientists can put on their high-tech spacesuits and exit the rover to collect specimens and conduct scientific experiments. Number 2. Sustainable high-tech spacesuits. Spacesuits are an important aspect for going to Mars. They are like spacecraft designed for astronauts. NASA's current spacesuits are very high-tech, with their modular design developed for space use anywhere. The first woman and the next man on the Moon will wear NASA's next-generation space shuttle, called the Exploration Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or XEMU. Aerospace clothing puts workers' safety first, while following Artemis generation pedestrians to perform more natural, Earth-like movements and perform tasks that were not possible during the Apollo missions. Upcoming developments to address the differences on Mars may include life-saving technology in a carbon dioxide-rich environment and outerwear designed to keep the atmosphere warm during the Mars winter and to prevent overheating in the summer. Number 1. Powerful propulsion systems. The first step to building a settlement on Mars is first to reach the planet. The journey to Mars will not be an easy one, and a lot of challenges will be faced. It will be one of the hardest endeavors humanity will ever attempt. To reach Mars, astronauts will have to take a 140 million miles journey into deep space. The current methods we use to send spacecraft to Mars are not viable for sending humans. The current method we use to send spacecraft to outer space and other worlds is the gravity assist method, a method of propulsion that uses the gravity of the gravitational body to literally pull the spacecraft into a new trajectory. Even though we can build these spacecraft and send them to other worlds to explore with gravity assist methods, sending ourselves into space and to other planets is a completely different thing. We cannot use a method like gravity assist to travel to other planets. 35 years is a long time for a human. So far, the furthest humans have traveled into space is the dark side of the Moon, which is just 400,000 kilometers away. If our goals to establish colonies on Mars are to be realized, we will need quicker and more efficient spacecraft than we presently have. Humans aren't accustomed to staying in space for so long. The Hohmann transfer technique, with launch windows every 26 months, is the quickest and most efficient way we know for reaching Mars, and it takes around 9 months to accomplish. A round trip would take about 21 months to complete. We would need to spend thousands of dollars a second just to reach the Red Planet and would have to sacrifice a large amount of payload based on the current technology, and not to mention the kind of impact such a long trip would have upon human psychology. advancements in our propulsion technologies are the key to reach Mars safely and quickly. Currently, scientists are working on a lot of different propulsion technologies that might achieve this goal for us. Right now, it is still very early to predict which nuclear propulsion method will take astronauts to Mars, but most probably it will be a nuclear-enabled method to reduce the time taken to reach Mars. Scientists are also working on ion propulsion, which might also help us reach Mars efficiently. As of today, NASA is working on multiple options, including nuclear thermal propulsion and nuclear electric propulsion. Both of these methods use nuclear fission as their core principle, but are very different from each other. A nuclear electric rocket is more sufficient but doesn't generate a lot of thrust, whereas nuclear thermal propulsion provides much more thrust. Whichever system is selected, the fundamentals of nuclear propulsion will reduce the crew's time away from Earth. The agency and its partners are developing, testing, and maturing critical components of various propulsion technologies to reduce the risk of the first human mission to Mars. Landing on Mars doesn't mean taking a big rocket and going on a journey to the Red Planet. In order to reach the planet and return safely, sophisticated advanced technologies will be required. Currently, a lot of government and private companies are working to achieve these technologies. Most of these technologies are already in the testing phase as we speak. So what do you think about the technologies we need to land humans on Mars? By which year do you think the first human will set foot on the Red Planet? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Also, press the bell notification so you don't miss out on updates about humanity's voyage to the Red Planet.